Hey guys, welcome back to the Math Bench. This week we're learning on how to use place value and mental math strategies to solve subtraction and addition problems within 100. We'll work on regrouping, modeling our thinking, and understanding how tens and hundreds connect when we compose and decompose numbers. So let's go ahead and take a look at what we're doing and learning in lessons 13 through 16. On lesson 13, we are going to start with subtracting two-digit numbers using strategies based on place value. One of the questions that you will see is 173 minus 42, and we have to solve this using our place value chart. We start by modeling 100, 7 tens, and 3 ones with place value disk. We'd start by subtracting 2 from 3. If we do that, we end up with 1, 1. Next, we move on to our tens place where we had 7 tens. We can and do have enough to take away 4, and we are going to be left with 3 tens. There are no hundreds being taken away from the 1 that we already have, and thus we'll just leave it alone with 100. The number we should be left with is 100, 3 tens, and 1 1, and that'll get us the number 131. On lesson 14, we are going to solve and create 1- and 2-step word problems within 100. In this lesson, students are going to be using the read, draw, and write strategy for word problems. Here in this question it says the bookstore sold 83 books on Monday, and on Tuesday it sold 46 fewer books than on Monday. How many books were sold on Tuesday? Here in the read portion you can see that we labeled that 83 books were sold on Monday, and that Tuesday equals whatever Monday had, which in this case would be 83, is 46 fewer than Monday. So how can we represent that with the drawing? We can use a number bond. 83 books is the total amount that we had on Monday. That is how many they were sold on Monday. We know that they sold 46 fewer books on Tuesday, but we want to figure out how many books were actually sold on Tuesday. In order to do that, we would have a comparison. We see the word than. That is usually a good key indication that we are subtracting. For our writing portion, we need to write an equation. In this case, I wrote an expression. What would make it an equation is you add an equal sign. 83 minus 46 would equal, and you could choose your preferred method of solving this question. I went with the vertical method, but if you have 83 minus 46, your 3 cannot handle the 6, so you have to borrow it from the 8. 8 becomes a 7, and your 3 becomes the same number, but with the 1 in front, and that'll be a 13. You get 13 minus 6, that is 7, and 7 minus 4 is 3, and thus you are left with 37 books that were sold on Tuesday. On lesson 15, we are going to be using mental strategies to relate 10 tens as 100. This is going back to our fluency towards the beginning of the school year. If you look at number 1, you see that 4 ones plus something is going to get us 110 in order to figure out what the missing number is. Similarly, like to the last question we just did, where you had to subtract to find the missing number, the same thing would be done here. Well, we know that 110 is just the number 10, 4 ones is just 4, and if you were to get 10 and subtract 4, you would be left with 6, and 6 ones specifically. The same thing can be done for the 4 tens and the 100. We know that 4 tens is 40. We know that 100 is 100. And if we did 100 minus 40, we would end up with 60. However, in this specific case, we would write 6 tens in order to fit the unit correctly in the missing spot. And on the right side, you can see that is conveyed within the mathematical equation that you would expect to be able to fill it in. 4 plus 6 equals 10, and thus 40 plus 60 equals 100. You are still using the same mental math strategy, and the same can be done for letter B at the bottom. Lastly, for lesson 16, we are going to be using manipulatives to represent addition with 2 compositions. So in this case here, if we look at our problem, we have 46 plus 54. It is solved for you already, but you can see that it is represented in 2 different methods. One is the traditional vertical method that a lot of us are familiar with, that includes regrouping, or also known as carrying your 1 over if you do get it. But if you look towards the right side, you do have your hundreds, tens, and ones charts. Now, it probably looks like a bunch of mumbo jumbo is going on, but one of the things that you do need to realize is that with this curriculum specifically, if it gives you instructions like how it does at the top there, solve using your place value chart and place value disk, that is a necessity. It is no longer optional if it says solve using the specific method, in this case the place value chart and place value disk. It must be solved with it. It's not asking you to, it's telling you to use that specific method. So yes, even if you could use vertical method to solve 46 plus 54, you would have to use your place value chart and your place value disk. Now, forgetting all of that, 46 and 54. 46 is being represented at the top there. If you look at your tens place at the top, you see that there are 4 blue circles. Those were your 4 tens originally. 46 has 6 ones. To the right of those 4 blue circles, there are 6 green circles. Those are your 6 ones. So that's the number 46 in place value disk. You're just putting the number of circles for that specific place value. For 54, it's vice versa. It's the same thing. You have 5 tens in 54, and you have 4 ones in 54. Now, when you add your 6 and 4 ones, you get 10. And you cannot fit 10 in one place value. Thus, that red circle in that ones place, if you count all the green circles, that is 10, and we do have enough to move one more 10 over to the place value, and we are not left with any ones, and thus we get a 0 at the bottom. Now, because we got another 10 from our ones place, we had 4 tens originally, we had 5 more tens, which had us at 9, but because of that extra 10 that we got from our ones place, that puts us at 10, and now we are at the threshold of where we can bundle and move all those 10 tens into 100. And thus we would lose all those 10s there, and we're not left with any, thus we would get a 0 at the bottom. And the only thing that we have left to show for it is that 100. And I understand it is a very complicated process, especially if it's something that we haven't practiced and gotten used to. However, I can assure you in the classroom, we have been using this strategy. It is not new. It does require a lot of practice and a lot of consistency in order to get it right and to be able to convey that they understand how to do it. So I would recommend using your vertical method, if that's the easiest method for you, to check if your place value chart and your answer for your vertical method match up. And if they do, well, that's only confirmation that you got it correct. So that wraps up our lessons for this week on the Math Bench. We practiced regrouping, solving word problems with our redraw write process, and connecting tens to hundreds through hands-on models and mental math. Just keep in mind that math is not just about memorizing these steps, it's about understanding how these numbers do work together. So, thanks for watching this week's Math Bench preview. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and come back next week. I hope you have a fantastic rest of your weekend, and I look forward to seeing you all on Monday.